The Boundary Park Alert System is sponsored by Pendle New Tech, a family-run Lancashire business you can rely on for everything fire safety related, including supply and installation, maintenance, testing, certification, alarms, risk assessments, like I said, anything fire safety related. But what do I know? Visit pendle-nu-tech.com and they'll sort you right out. Check the show notes for more information. This is a test of the Boundary Park Alert System. Hello and welcome to the Boundary Park Alert System podcast with me, Matt Dean. It's Sunday, the 23rd of August. We're recording this in the evening. It's 7 o'clock. Andy's still on holiday. I'm not sure if he's actually still away or what, but if you're listening, Andy, I hope you're having a lovely time. I've enlisted the help of a very, very able deputy who's done this role before, Mr. Adam Keeley. Welcome to the podcast and thanks for joining me in a co-host capacity.
Good evening, mate. You okay?
Very well, thanks.
Good.
Very, very well. Yeah.
Other than the result yesterday.
Yeah, look, listen. It's the second game of the season,
it's a long way to go. It's a long way.
We're come on to. We're not Stockport. We're not Salford and Rochdale, are we? You know, we're not lost our first two, so it could be worse. Do you want to give us a bit of an intro? Apparently, you used to go to school, I believe. You said, did you, with our fan guest?
We did primary, yeah, very long time ago. East Crompton, St James's. Obviously, I know you've been on a few times, but what was your first game, fan guest?
First game? Oh, God. I can't for the life of me remember, to be honest with you. I know, like, from memory, my first, like, proper season going was the sort of red and blue pony kit season. That's the one I remember, but I can't for the life of me remember the game.
Your favourite Latics player?
Ever or first favourite?
Well, do both. Let's mix it up.
So my first favourite player was Sean McCarthy as a kid. Just an absolute giant of a man. Loved him. And then my favourite Latics player ever. Oh, that's a tough one. Probably, I'm going to say Richie Wellens. Just love him and miss him.
You know, I thought you were going to say Tom Conlon. I really did then for a minute.
Don't, Matt, don't. Not today.
That game Wellens had at Bradford, that's the one that always sticks out in my mind about Wellens. How he literally just dragged us through that game.
Yeah, he's one of those players, wasn't he?
Yeah.
The likes we'll never see again.
Your favourite away game?
Favourite away game was York in the playoffs last year. Not last year, the year before. Unreal. Best ever. I don't think anything will come close to that.
I think your face is definitely on a few of the videos from the ground, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
And a little known fact about yourself that people may not know or may know.
Oh, this is where you realise you're just really boring, isn't it? I think Andy summed it up last time. Not North Korea's very own. I think that's about it, really.
Well,
that's all I'm known for.
I'll tell you what. Let's give you this plug. You went to every single game last season, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, that's a good thing, Matt. But yeah,
it's a fact, isn't it? Yeah. And I think it deserves it deserves a shout out. So you do a lot of miles following Latics around the country. So come on, who are you?
I'm Adam Kershaw.
You are Adam Kershaw. So the eagle-eared will have noticed that we've got two Adams, both AKs. We've got Keeley and Kershaw. So you'll be addressed accordingly. A bit like primary school, Keeley and Kershaw. Oi, Keeley, Kershaw. Pack it in.
We definitely had a year 6 teacher like that.
Did you?
Yes, we did. Yeah.
Right, well, that could be me today. Hopefully it's not. The trauma's not going to come from me today. The trauma's going to come from reliving yesterday, isn't it? So it wasn't that long ago, Adam. I'm sure it didn't seem that long. Sorry, see, I've done it already because you've got Adam written on your thing. You have to update your thing to Keeley. So Kershaw, it probably didn't seem like that long ago since you were in Colchester last season. We won 3-1.
No, it didn't. As soon as I got there, it all came back to me. And I remember just like thinking, actually, it was pretty good last season. Looking forward to today. And yeah, that didn't last very long at all, did it?
It was, first away game of the season. We won there quite comfortably last season, where we were in the midst of that good run. Obviously, we all went into yesterday positive. You combined the trip to Colchester with a camping trip in Norfolk, didn't you?
Did, yeah.
So you made a weekend of it.
Yeah, well, 4 days, yeah. Which was only 2 days shorter than the second half. So it's pretty.
Yeah, absolutely. So, let's get stuck into it. Who wants to go first? Who wants to describe? What was it like? You describe Kershaw. You describe the atmosphere, build up to the game, decent following from Latics again. What was the vibe before kickoff?
Oh well, yeah, incredible following, wasn't it? That 700 and odd, wasn't it, that we'd sold? So the vibe in the stadium was pretty good. Everyone's kind of looking forward to it. I was really hyped up for it, to be fair. Again, like, how excited can you get for a trip to Colchester? But I was really looking forward to it. And honestly, I don't want to moan and like it's the second game of the season, but it was one of those games yesterday where I just sat. I just couldn't even bother getting up for the second half. I just sat in my seat and just thought, this is just going to be one of those days today. It was just one of those games. I don't want to blame the referee and moan about it, but the decision changed the game, because before that it was a good game. Those spells where we played well, those spells Colchester did okay. They didn't look particularly threatening or dangerous, even though they had much more of the ball and probably opportunity than we had. But we looked comfortable, and it was just really disappointing. Like, it totally killed the game, and Mickey Mellon said it in the interview. It was never that game. It was never the sort of game where it needed the level of bookings that came out yesterday. It was never the sort of game that needed the sort of level of discipline the referee was trying to instill. So yeah, it just ruined it, really.
Keeley, last week's game against Port Vale was a much more feisty affair, wasn't it? There was bigger tackles going in, and it had more of the feel that the Tuther Adams just described there. It wasn't that kind of game, and the actual challenge. Let's before we go to the challenge, they had a shot. They were there at the edge of the outside of the post and the bar, didn't he? A speculative effort, good effort, and Appiah-Forson had a brilliant effort that went in. That was the margin in the first half, wasn't it? Really, with the exception of the red card. What a goal! And what a strike! And that was what we've missed out on last. We didn't have midfielders doing that last season, did we?
No, we've just lacked that little bit of quality where years gone by. If you look at, obviously, when Appiah-Forson got the ball, he took it from the corner of the pitch and turned his man. And there's not many midfielders, if you think last season, that we had that quality that could turn it and create space for themselves like that. So, and then obviously opened his body and hit a superb strike. And I've seen a couple of Southend fans have said online, he didn't have that in his locker last year because he's clearly got a bit more freedom, whereas I think Southend wanted him as a bit more of an anchor and pushing up where needed. But obviously this year he does seem to get forward a lot more, and he looks a real exciting player for us. And he is only on a 2-year deal, but we'll probably come to it later on. But there is a couple of players in that squad that I'm not saying we're going to try and get him on a new contract already, but there's a few players in there that I would be trying to tie down early doors now, because their performances continue, the likes of Robson and people like that. People will be in for him, and they will be moving on. So try and get him tied down early. But yeah, superb goal, and did really well to create that space for himself. And it's the second goal where he scored from distance as well. He scored Sheffield Wednesday, wasn't it, in pre-season? So it was good. But just going back to the game itself, where for me, I think the ref wanted it to be a bit more about him that game. It was very stop-start. It was very... it seemed like every decision that we had ended up in a yellow card. I think we ended up with, was it 8 yellows and 1 red yesterday? and they ended up with 4. So there was a lot of yellow cards in that game for a game that I don't think was a very bad affair. And it did change. So I've seen a few people say that, Scott Morris's foot was high and he was, giving the referee a decision to make. And obviously when he's very card happy, like he seemed to be yesterday, you're giving him a situation, where he wants to use his cards. I don't know, but I thought it was a poor decision. Very poor.
It was an absolutely shocking decision, and some of the discourse online about it on Twitter particularly has been. I've seen Oldham fans saying that it was, like you said, Adam, that he give him a decision to make, and then the Southend fans saying, he's gone in, he's stamping or whatever. All he did was put his leg across the man, and he's gone down. He's made no contact with him. He's put on a performance. The referee's bought it completely, and there's absolutely no way that it was even a foul in my view. It wasn't even a foul. It wasn't even a free kick or a yellow card. There was no intent. It wasn't dangerous. He didn't touch him. It was literally
the ball was off the floor, so his foot was always going to be higher, wasn't it? It wasn't never going to be low because the ball was off the floor. So you've got to be challenging.
It was the third of a series of challenges that he was in play, where he'd gone in for one challenge, then in for another, and then for another. And Suzanne Geldard put something out, didn't she, on Twitter? If you saw it, about the reaction of the player, like, kind of, I've done him here, I've done this fella here, and that's what it was. And there's all we can do is suck it up. We've just got to say, well, that's what's happened. We've been dealt a really harsh blow there, and just before half time, literally seconds. If he could have even have blown his whistle a second or two before, and it doesn't even happen. So that is the tightness of the margin that whole game depended on then. And so that was it. We went in at half time. We're 1-0 up, but we're down to 10 men for the whole of the second half. So we have to deal with that then. I feel a bit disrespectful calling you Kershaw and Keeley, but Mr. Kershaw. What did you make then of the? And I totally get you. It was horrible. The second half was horrible. We knew what it was going to all be about. What did you make of how we dealt with that? What do you think of the substitutions, the game management, and the way we went about being down to 10 men for 45 minutes?
So I think, again, the minute he gets sent off, I just knew second half that was coming. I knew from previous games where we have lost a player, where we'll just sit so deep. My slimmer, like my faint glimmer of hope, for yesterday was that midfield, which I'm incredibly impressed by so far, of Norburn and Forson. I thought that they would maybe have the legs and the sort of nous to play a little bit higher up. I know with 10 men, there's going to be large chunks of that where you are sitting back, you are just soaking it up. But I did expect more. I think we sat way too deep, way too early. The decision to name Temple on the bench and then to play him yesterday is beyond me. He's getting stick, and I don't think legally you're allowed to call players out anymore. Otherwise, the families will start crying on Twitter. But he was absolutely horrific. He really was. It was so poor. He was at fault for both of the goals, and he was also at fault for the second goal against Stoke as well. He got absolutely done there. But I gave him the benefit of the doubt because he's playing against a championship team. But yesterday was absolutely horrific. I don't know what Will Sutton's done wrong to not even be in the squad yesterday. But Will Sutton's a far better right back than that lad. And I don't understand the logic of giving some kid on loan from Bolton minutes and improving their prospects rather than our own.
Not to mention having Manny Month on the bench. I mean, yeah, I know that there's some kind of an issue, but he's on the bench. If he's fallen out with him that much, don't include him in the squad. But to have him on the bench is is there to be used, surely. And the thing that got to me yesterday was where I could see it was all going to go was downhill was when the pace was brought off. And Manny is one of his great attributes is his speed. And when you're up against the Kosh like that, having that pace is crucial. And having the pace on the outlet as well, on the break. For Wumney, Drummond, who both came off. He put Drummond in the middle for a while, and he kind of had him up against Fondop. That made us really narrow, and that didn't work. When Fondop came off, I thought you realised what a job he does, because Nevitt did absolutely nothing in the same capacity as Fondop to pressure their defenders, to work them, to give them something to worry about. He just kind of jogged around trying to get into positions, and he didn't fight and battle and harass and cause trouble to their back line. And Pet came on and just looked, in comparison to the players who were on before him, just looked incredibly slow, moving around the pitch. And for Wumney, all right, he's not. He might not be a defender, but for me, like you say, it's going to be a war of attrition for 45 minutes. You need something you need something to be able to give you some relief and stretch it. And it's only the second game of the season, so it's like, can't be bringing players off, say, well, they're going to be tired. I mean, let them run themselves into the ground. They've just on to back a pre-season. So I thought we made life incredibly difficult for ourselves. I thought once Hudson saved the penalty, our luck was in. I'm not going to lie. I thought, here, we'll come away with a point here, and all things being even, I'll take that. But then, your man of the moment, Mr. Temple, not a bad sort of volley into the goal, Adam Keeley, was it? I mean, was it just a breakdown in communication? It was Hudson's ball all day, wasn't it?
We're never going to know whether he called for that. You would like to think his positioning, he has called for it, but you're never going to know from the position that we've seen it on the camera. But for me yesterday, I'd said at half-time, I would have gone a 3-5-1 and played on the counter. And used our pace a bit more effectively, because I think the shape that we went with didn't really give us any options defensively when they did start to put 2 and 3 players further forward, and that really made it difficult for us to get out. And especially, again, going back to, we took the pace off. So for me, I would have gone with Robson, Delaney and Daniels as the 3 at the back, and left Drummond and Favour out wide. But obviously have them doing the wing-back role. But we would have been sitting a little bit deeper. But the pace that them two have got would have pushed us further up the field when we did have the chance to break out. And I think you can't sit in for 45 minutes and expect to come away with anything. And I mean, to bring Pet on, I found really bizarre. He didn't really contribute anything to the game. I mean, how Manny didn't get on and we didn't just push Robson further forward, for example, or
Well, their number 27 on that right hand side was a real danger. He played Manny on that left hand side of a 3. Like you say, you could push Robson as a wing back if need be, whatever. But he had to come on. He's got the pace. We've seen him deal with players like that in that left sided of a 3 before. It just seemed like cutting off your nose to spite your face, really, from Mellon. Really, in that instance, I don't know. I mean, he's got his decisions, and I'm not having to go at him. He's the manager, and he makes the decisions, he makes the calls. It's the second game of the season, so it's not the be all and end all. But
we looked very tired very early yesterday, I thought.
Well, I thought Fondop came off looking like, I mean, he put a shift in, but like I said before, so it was only an hour into the game or so in the second game of the season. He's put shifts in for 19 plus minutes week after week after week, hasn't he, before now? Drummond doesn't quite look up to speed. I thought the same thing against Port Vale. But, I don't know. The reactions on Twitter are as always, isn't it? With, last week we were winning the league. This week, everything's terrible,
relegation.
obviously. So that doesn't really give us too much perspective. But I think it's a really, really difficult thing to talk about when such a big. All right, you can be critical about formations afterwards, personnel substitutions, and all that kind of stuff. But the whole game changes on that one decision, and that's it. And I think all being equal, we would have come away with at least a point. I think quite possibly could have won the game, but we didn't. And I think you just got to brush yourself off. I think as long as we beat Swindon on Saturday, then it's all good.
You make a good point about Drummond struggling. He does struggle on that left-hand side. He's nowhere near as effective as he should be. Obviously, Favour is a left-footed player, playing on the right. Is it worth just trying to switch them over and see if we'll get a bit more direct play from both of them? I don't know. But if we're going to persist with it, I think we need a new left winger before the window closes.
I like Drummond, and I think his work rate over the last couple of games has been tremendous up and down that left hand side. But what you do is you drain his battery. He's a pacey player who needs to be further forward, and conserving his energy. And yesterday, I know he tried to do that when he brought him inside, but he's up and down. He's doing the job that Mickey Mellon's asking him to do, and he's playing well in a defensive capacity. But you're nullifying all the threat. And when we had that run, Kershaw, when you were at Colchester last season, that's when Drummond was, playing up front and causing problems. I think he scored in that game, if memory serves.
He did, yeah. He scored the late one because it was Taylor's header, wasn't it? And then
that's right. Yeah.
And then Drummond, added one to make it 3-1. But on Drummond, I think he's much more effective down the middle, personally. Mm-hmm. Out wide, I think he's done okay on the right-hand side. But he does okay on that right-hand side when he's got support. So, I think probably would work well with Scott Morris, kind of like pushing up and being in support, offering overlaps, that kind of thing, and that link-up play. But just on yesterday's substitutions, because obviously you did ask me that, but I just went on a massive rant about Lewis Temple. So just to go back to it, obviously that change for Temple coming on for Cav was the half-time change. From then on, obviously it is a thankless task coming on when you're down to 10 men. So I don't envy anyone. And of all the lads who came on, again, you're on a hiding to nothing, aren't you? There's nothing. You're not going to come on and change the game, really. You're a man down. But I could see the logic of every single change. So bringing Favour off for Tom Pett, you could see that because Temple immediately was struggling a little bit. So you bring on Pett just to sit in front of him and offer that kind of support that he's not going to get from a young lad, and that sort of game management you'd probably expect to see from Tom Pett. We didn't see enough of it yesterday. On the Fondop and Drummond coming off, the ball just wasn't sticking up top. Fondop, is much better aerially and physically than Elliot Nevitt, but the ball just wasn't sticking at all. We could not get out yesterday. And I was saying it I was with my missus, so she didn't really care or understand what I'm saying, but
just nodding along.
I'm saying it's just not sticking. We need to make changes, and you can see the changes he's going to make. But again, I'd said pre-match to a few of the boys in the group chat, the bench today screams of let's go 2 up and play it safe. There was no sort of contingency in place on that bench for going a goal down. So if we need to change the game, the answer was never coming from the bench ever yesterday.
It's a really good point. Really good point. I don't think the ball stuck at all game, if I'm honest. They kept coming back in a lot of the time. Granted, we looked a lot more comfortable in that first half, but that was with our centre mids passing back to our centre-backs and keeping it safe in our own zones. But when we did try to go forward, it was a bit more direct, and I don't think it stuck at all, really, which why we seemed a little bit under pressure in that first half as well.
I guess maybe there's home and away mentalities, and last season, we seemed to perform a bit better away from what we have done in recent seasons, haven't we? Our away form's been better than our home form. But this season, in 2 games, it's flipped. So hopefully what we want is our home form to improve and our away form to continue. But again, like, you know, what you said there, Adam, is about the game plan going 2 ups, sure it. Well, you know, had we come out in the second half 11 on 11, that may well have been the case. You're coming home then going, brilliant away performance, managed it fantastically. We went 2 up, showed it up. You know, that's what you want. I mean, Colchester, they didn't score with ease the 2 goals that they needed, did they? It wasn't, you know, even against the 10 men, you know, they huffed and they puffed, and they had to work hard for those 2 goals. So I don't think, you know, 11 v 11 and with the threats that we would have had on the pitch, yeah. I mean, there was some of them fans on Twitter sort of like think, oh yeah, well, we would have won anyway. No, I don't think so. But I don't think we would have lost if it had been 11 v 11. So you've just got to sometimes you've just got to say, right, well, that's what's happened. There's absolutely bugger all we can do about it. We go on to the next game, which is Swindon on Saturday. That's followed then by Fleetwood on the Tuesday, isn't it? So really, you know, it's great when it's like this. You've just got to get on with it, get the games played, get the games won, hopefully. Let's have a listen to Mickey, see what he's got to say about the defeat yesterday at Colchester.
Mickey, such a cruel finish. How would you sum up your emotions at the end of that?
Yeah, that really, Alan. That we were cruising. I was actually looking forward to the second half. We were absolutely cruising. And what happened was that we're not allowed to say anything. We're a bit referees, Alan. We're not allowed to say it. So I'm sorry if the supporters think that I've not come out and defended that, or attacked that. I'm not allowed to anymore. In no way am I going to get any bother for that. I thought the players up to half time we were total cruise mode, played some really good stuff, well in control. Game gets changed by a decision. There's a lot of stuff that went on the day that was bizarre. But the supporters were superb. The players in the second half gave it everything they've got, and to lose right at the end was cruel. But I've seen enough today to show me that we have definitely got the spirit and definitely the quality to have a good season.
Despite the result, is that the main thing you take from it? That fight that we showed?
The positives from out of that, Al, yeah, definitely that. The fighting spirit, the battling, the commitment, the running themselves into the ground under the circumstances, and a cruel one at the end. We didn't deserve to lose that game.
It's all the more disappointing, isn't it, given how well we played in the first half and, of course, that goal from Keenan?
Yeah, we didn't deserve to lose a game. We were not beaten by a better team. We didn't deserve to. And that's where I due credit. And I'll always say that. They've won the game at the end of the day. But in my opinion, absolutely we weren't beaten by a better team. We were beaten because of a decision that made it really difficult for us. And we couldn't just quite hang on for something at the end, which we're gutted about, but we'll come back in Monday ready to go again.
The supporters certainly recognise the fight that we've shown, and I guess looking forward now, that fight, that resolve is needed to.
Yeah, listen, if you go and represent them, you go and run around and you go and show the right amount of responsibility towards them travelling all the way down here, then they'll show you that, and they did at the end. I'm just sorry that we couldn't have sent ourselves back up the road with deservedly something.
So, Mr. Keeley, what do you make of Mickey's response?
I think it was very measured. I think he didn't really mention it in that interview, but he mentions it in another interview around the referee and this decision and not going to be appealing it, which for me says there's possibly not another angle, you know, of the challenge. I'm not sure that the FA had overturned it on the footage that we can see, purely because they go down the clear and obvious, and are they going to say that's clear and obvious?
I guess that what they'll say is that the referee had a better view, and so they'll stick to what he says. Yeah.
But in relation to obviously the game, I don't think we controlled it as much as he said. As I've said first half, I still think the ball kept coming back quite quickly. But we did have periods of, control, and I think Norburn and Appiah-Forson bring that, with how they carry the ball and stuff like that, which takes a bit of pressure off the back line. But I agree. I don't think they were a better side. I thought they had two very good players in that, Payne and Thorne, their right winger. Other than that, I thought they were very standard, and with 11, I think we would have won. I generally do. I think that second half we would have seen a big difference, but again, just reverts back to that big decision just before half time, doesn't it?
What do you make of the interview?
I always think Mellon's pretty bang on in his interviews. As much as he's very, like Adam said, he's very measured in what he chooses to say, and sometimes more importantly what not to say. It's difficult to disagree with him on it. So yeah, I think but my thing is on the appeal. If he's so sure that the referee's made a bad decision, why wouldn't you appeal it? Because now we potentially lose Gus Scott Morris for 3 games, don't we? Which would be Swindon, Fleetwood away, and Tranmere away. Why would you go without you starting right back to those games if Lewis Temple's our backup? It doesn't make any sense for the sake of £500 to appeal it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fair question, I suppose. It's a fair question. I think it's just maybe they just assume that it's probably not going to work. That it's not going to work, so why bother? I don't know. We're just gonna look. The thing is, right? It's sort of the second game of the season. These things happen in the season, don't they? You get suspensions, you get injuries, and you have a squad for a reason. It's disappointing because he's a new signing, and we've been crying out for somebody like him in that position. So it is frustrating, but we have to have a squad that can deal with suspensions and injuries over the season, because we're going to get it. So the big question is, how's he going to set the team up on Saturday with that in mind? I mean, Temple, not everything Temple did was bad. He was, but unfortunately he gave away a penalty, and he scored an own goal. So that's obviously the things that are going to stand out. But I think, what does Will Sutton have to do to get a game? He's played right back. The managers are always saying, what a great lad he is, what a good player he is, etc., etc. But when push comes to shove, he doesn't get included. Do you think, lads, that we will stick with a back 4 against Swindon, or maybe go with a back 3 and play? I know Gus Morris is your obvious wing back that we don't actually have, but do you think Sutton will come in at right back? What are your early instincts?
It wouldn't surprise me if he tried to see what his squad's capable of in a different formation. But at the same time, it generally was probably sitting on the fence a little bit. Wouldn't surprise me if he stayed the same. But Temple, I don't want to slate a young lad like that, but he was at fault, as Adam said, for the second Stoke goal. And, 2 glaringly bad decisions in the game yesterday. And for me, I think it's extremely harsh that Will Sutton should lose out on his place going forward at the minute to him. So for me, I'd be bringing him back in. Swindon have 2 bigger lads up front, don't they? So do you go 3 at the back and bring Manny back in? I don't know. One thing I would say is, and I've seen a lot of people say, drop Delaney for Manny. I don't think Delaney's been bad at all since he's been in. I think he's been very solid. He hasn't got that pace that Manny has, but I don't really think there's much that you can say has been down to him.
Yeah, totally agree with what Adam said there. I think Delaney's been good. He's not really put a foot wrong. Is he the prettiest footballer you're ever going to see? No, he's not. Winds me up no end the way he connects with a football. But yeah, I don't think he's a bad player at all. I think if you look at last season, he's a massive, massive improvement. We've actually got someone who can now test those two centre-backs and push them for a place. One thing Mellon has been saying is that we've got lads chomping at the bit and someone ready to take your position. Like, again, not to keep banging on about the Will Sutton point, but we should have a right back there ready to go if that's his point within it. So yeah, I just hope to see it. I don't think we're going to go to a back five at any point. I know Mellon said it in an interview that we've got the flexibility, but yeah, one of my this is actually my second away trip of the season because I snuck into St Andrews in pre-season as well because I was in Scotland at the time.
Yeah, of course you were. You were already there. You were already in Scotland. You didn't go up just for that, no, because that'd be sad. Go for that. No,
just walking past and seeing the game being played. That's what it was, wasn't it?
No, it is really sad. But like, a mate of mine works at Everton, and I'd gone up to watch Everton train in the morning. I was going to watch Hearts at Friday night, so I had 2 hours to kill, and I just happened to be in St Andrews, so I watched it. But that back four seems like something that they've been working on all pre-season because the first half of that game, Manny Monfacci started with another lad who was on trial from Wolves. And at half time, Brabin pulled Manny away from the group into like at the side of the pitch. And he had a tactics board showing him where he wanted him to be, when we were out of position. And I don't know if anyone noticed during pre-season particularly, but that defensive line was much higher. Yesterday it dropped considerably, and I think that's where we did invite a lot onto us. And I think Daniels has been spot on the first few games of the season as well. So you can't really drop him. But Manny was notably off it on that day and throughout pre-season as well. I don't think we've seen the levels that we're used to from Manny. I hope he comes back very, very soon because I'd much prefer to see Manny covering Robson than Delaney. As much as he's not done anything wrong, I think Robson's had issues in the first two games against very good players in the Port Vale game and yesterday's game as well. But yeah, it's just there's something definitely off with Manny. So I think he's justified in dropping him, and I think it does send a good message as well to everyone else that someone's ready to take your place, really.
Yeah, I think the obvious thing to do is to think, well, Manny was brilliant last season. He was brilliant for us the season before. Him and Robson on that side, not much gets past them. And obviously yesterday, it's easy in hindsight. But we have to trust the manager that he's doing what he feels is the right thing when it comes to his players. And he knows the players and he knows their attitude. He knows Manny very, very well. So we've got to have faith in him. That he's going to manage this situation and manage his players in the right way and ultimately get the best out of them. It's 2 games in, so there's absolutely no reason. Like you said, I think it was Jack Miller who posted something on Twitter, all about last week we were champions and this week, it's doom and gloom and he's spot on. It is what it is, and we've got 3 points on the board. We are going to be one of the better teams in the division this season. I've no doubt about that. And we've just got to show where we're at next week against Swindon. They beat us twice last season, last Swindon. So let's knock that on the head and get 3 points off them. And
we've got just over a week left of the window as well, haven't we? Do we think there's going to be any movement, or where would you say we need to strengthen before?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the question, isn't it? Adam Kershaw, have you got any thoughts on that?
I don't know. We've not got 500 quid to pay an appeal, Matt, so I don't know who we're buying for that. I don't. I'd like to think he's got something lined up, and maybe we need another option on the wing. I think that's probably the biggest area because there is no cover on the bench at the minute. There's Chilvers, but I don't think he did incredibly well on the wing when he's come on both times. I think he's looked okay. I thought Tom Hill that we got looked probably a little bit more dangerous, but again he seemed better centrally. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure. We've not seen enough of the players he's brought in now to know what they're good at, but I'd suggest we need a little bit more of an out-and-out winger because I don't think we're going to find a striker Like he says, everyone's looking for a striker, and yeah, well, we're skint, so we're not going to get one.
What about you, Keely? What would you do?
I agree. I think a winger's got to be the priority. You can then potentially play Drummond through the middle, off Fondop should it be required, or off Nevitt or someone along those lines if it's needed. My initial thought
Kavanagh as well, don't forget. I mean,
yeah. I'm talking more of a case of if we are struggling and we need, ball over the top or getting in behind teams, you need someone like Drummond. And I think, yes, we have got 3 strikers, but 2 of them are very similar in the job that they're looking to do or that have been brought in to do. And I think, realistically, at the minute, 2 of them are going to be playing every game. In the sense of Kavanagh and Nevitt and Kavanagh. I still think there needs to be a bit more competition up there. I don't think there's enough competition because there's 2 very similar. Fondop and Nevitt are never going to play together. And Kavanagh. So other than Kavanagh, there's not enough up there for me. Which makes, obviously I don't think there's much of a budget or anything left at all from what Mellon says, which makes the Payne signing even more strange because I don't think that we've got him for nothing. We're clearly going to be paying his wage. It just seems a strange one. Was he even on the bench yesterday?
No, he was in the travelling squad because he was running at the side with Tahir.
It's a bit strange that we are bringing players in on loan and then they're not even making the 18.
Well, we're just gonna have to have faith, aren't we? That the management team know what they're doing.
I've got no issue. At the end of the day, it's we are 2 games in, and we look how we finished last season. I have confidence all day long that Mellon and his staff know what they're doing. It's just obviously we're here to fill an hour of the podcast.
Yeah, you know what? The thing is, I think let's bring it down to reality. You can improve on the kind of budgets that we've got, and I keep saying it, where we're coming from, how we've had to rebuild completely from scratch, haven't we? We had a shocking squad when we got back. When the Rothwells took over, we had an absolutely piss poor selection of players to choose from. So every season we're improving. The opposite end of the scale is Ipswich. In the Premier League, have just got promoted. We've spent nearly 150 million quid. On players. Like, that's just insane. Like, like they say, right, we're at a whole new level. We've got to stay up. This is what they're spending. It's just incredible. You can't afford to improve every single player in every single position in one summer. And so what we're doing is prioritizing where we need to try and strengthen season on season, summer on summer, and doing that accordingly. You can't afford to bring in, better players in every position. It's just the way it is. But the squad is significantly better than it was when the Rothwells took over, and it's better than it was last season. So that's, I think, really as much as we can hope for. And then it's up to the manager and up to the players to get the most out of it. And after 2 games this season, we really can't read too much into it. We've won 1, we've lost 1, and it could have been different. It could have easily been we'd won 2. Or we had 4 points, who knows? But it really doesn't matter. What is exciting is the fact that we've got 2 games in a week, Swindon and Fleetwood. You'll be going to Fleetwood, Mr. Kershaw, no doubt.
Yeah, got my ticket. Yeah.
It's a shame that the loyalty points aren't carried over from last season, isn't it? You're gutted about that, wouldn't you? You had a full house.
Well, I've emailed the club to get my loyalty point for St Andrews. I'm just awaiting a reply.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant.
We're the fire experts, fire safety experts at Pendle New Tech. We train fire marshals, fire safety marshals at Pendle New Tech. Pendle New Tech have fire experts across the UK, covering all your local and national needs. With over 100 years experience in the fire safety industry, you know that you can trust Pendle New Tech. Right, enough of that now.
Right, well, all that is very well and good, but How are you at Latics Mind? What's your past performance been like?
Yeah, I normally get 1.
Okay, well I'll tell you what. I'll let Keely, since you're both Adam, so it's like one player. So if you don't know the answer, just say you don't know, and see if Adam Keely can fill in for you. Right. We'll see how you both get on between you as a
don't hold
team.
Your breath.
Well, you never know. It might push the score up by 1 or 2. You never know. Right, let's play Latics Mind. Latics Mind is sponsored by Oldham Athletic Supporters Foundation, investing in the fans, the club and the community. Join today at oasf.co.uk for just £12 a year. OASF, because we're stronger together. Who replaced Dennis Irwin as Latics right back?
Adam Keeley.
Andy Barlow?
Incorrect. It was Paul Warhurst. Name one of Latics' 3 ever presents in their championship season of 1991. Just one of the players who played every game that season.
Do you think someone like Nick Emery?
Nope, it was Hallworth, Barrett and Barlow. Before Callum Kavanagh at Swindon last season, who was the last Latics debutant to miss a penalty?
Oh, God. I don't know.
Waters?
Correct. Billy Waters at Aldershot. Well done. Who started as Latics captain at Wembley in the playoff final?
Charlie Raglan.
Correct. Well
Better
done.
than that fraud Conlon.
Which former Latics striker is now playing his trade with Buxton?
Oh. Billy Waters.
Kurt Willoughby.
Oh, I have to take your first answer. It was Kurt Willoughby, but it was incorrect. Latics won Division 3 in the 1973-74 season. They lost 4 league games on the spin over Christmas and New Year, followed by how many wins on the bounce?
6.
No, it was 10. In the 86-87 season, Latics played Leeds 6 times in all competitions. What was our win, draw, loss record in those games?
2-2-2.
No, 1-4, lost 2. Just lost the really, really important one, unfortunately. Right, so you managed to get 2 correct.
3.
It would have been 3 if the Willoughby answer would have been a bit earlier, but yeah. You got 2, so you doubled it. You got 1 each.
Yep.
Take that.
Take that, yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was a funny. You got the Raglan question for the captain.
Oh, that's tattooed on my arm, that.
I did say earlier on that the about Conlon being your favourite player. You were never his biggest fan, were you, Adam?
Oh, I hated him. Yeah, I can't tell you how nice it feels to watch Ollie Norburn walk round in that captain's armband with his shirt tucked in, creds on, looking absolutely stunning, and just taking this club seriously. I couldn't watch another 90 minutes with that idiot. But yeah, now and on the recruitment, I feel like we have improved every position on last season. So fair play to Mel, and I'm actually looking forward to this season. Yesterday was a shitter, but I think this season's going to be a good one.
Those 2 centre mids really excite me, and it just makes you realise how little legs and energy we had in that midfield last season. It made it really difficult for us in games.
Yeah.
But one thing I would say about Woods. I thought the way he came on against Port Vale and slowed the game down and made us dictate play a little bit more, keeping the ball, I thought was quite good in when he came on. I thought that worked really well. But he believe he's on quite a hefty wage, so I don't think him warming the bench, coming on for the odd occasions, what we need, and we could probably do with getting rid before the window closes, but I can't see it.
And I don't think he's slowing the game down through choice. I think that's just how
I think you got to give credit to Woods. I thought he did a good job last season. I think he was one of our most consistent performers, and but yeah, we've definitely upgraded. There's no question about that. And that central midfield situation has been, the SS were in there, weren't they? Shelton.
I won't have a bad
Sharon,
word said about Nathan Sheeran. I won't have a bad word said about him. Too much slander gets passed around about that man, and he's an absolute hero to me. He's one of the few centre mids in the National League era who probably left with any sort of fondness.
Look, I think he scored some really good goals. He was 100% committed. I'm saying that he's we've significantly upgraded since.
Oh yeah, but he always played above his level for us, whereas everyone else didn't. Like everyone else dropped 2 hours and below. So
yeah. Mark Shelton has gone to York, hasn't he? So
for the time being, he's on his way out already.
To Grimsby, yeah.
Yeah, so but that's a match made in heaven for Latics fans. Shelton at York, isn't it? So yeah. Look, 2 games in, lads. 3 points on the board. 2 really big, exciting games coming up. Swindon at home, Fleetwood away. It's good to have the football back, isn't it? Regardless of the disappointment that we experienced yesterday. At least we're not Salford and Rochdale. So that's
very true.
Go on, mate.
Go on, Matt. Sorry.
No, go on.
I was just going to say I'm glad the Mellon Junior saga's over.
Yeah.
I think it's there was obviously suggestion that he might be coming here, and obviously Mellon was being cryptic, and then just seemed a little bit out of the blue. That didn't. It's a Stevenage, but I've seen quite a few fans saying, "Oh, how have they beaten them to beating him to us?" But I think their owner's worth in the region of £90 million. So I generally don't think there's an issue financially for them to beat us to him. So fair play. I think he's still injured. I don't even think he plays Saturday because he's still got a bit of an injury.
And they've got eyes on the Championship. They only just missed out on the Championship last season, didn't they? That's the reality of the situation.
The size of the club's not relevant now, is it? It's the financial backing behind it. You just look at Salford getting 2,000 every week and spending $750,000 on a striker and paying him $10,000 a week. It just goes to show it means absolutely nothing.
No, and they've still lost the first 2 games. So let's hope that
Beautiful
continues.
To see that.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
absolutely. Right, lads, that's I'm sure by the time I've edited this, it will sound like it's been hassle-free, but it's not been entirely hassle-free in terms of the internet and all that kind of stuff. But I certainly appreciate you giving up your an hour on your Sunday evening, especially Mr. Kershaw, after your long drive back up from Norfolk. I believe you were camping in Norfolk.
Yeah, but honestly, this has been an absolute privilege because it means that I could send my missus off with the kids for an hour, so I actually get some peace and quiet. So it's been a joy for me.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad that we can bring you some joy, Mr. 100%er. You deserve it, absolutely. You've already said you're going watching England a bit this year, right? You see, it's going to eat into your record. You're not quite going to be able to manage the 100% this time round.
Yeah, no, but I think, I just sat at home during the World Cup and I was like, I need to be there. So, yeah, me and my mate, the not so sexy Mr. Flynn Bradley, we'll join the travel club and we're going to try and get to the World Cup. So, yeah.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Right, lads, I really appreciate your time. Thanks very much indeed. I'll see you, Mr. Kershaw, on Saturday at the back of the Rochdale Road end. And Adam Kershaw, Keeley, I hope it's not too long until I see you, mate.
Hopefully see you on Saturday around the ground, but for a pint. But if not, I'll see you at an away game soon.
Yeah, Fleetwood.
Can't make Fleetwood, but Tranmere. I'm hoping, should the points allow. to get to Tranmere.
Let's hope we're at Tranmere with another 6 points in the bag, eh?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think Conlon will be playing for Tranmere. He's injured, isn't he?
No, he's playing.
Is he playing?
Every week.
Oh, Adam Kershaw. You can boo him with your heart's content, can't you?
I'm waiting in the car park from 11 a.m. for it. I can't wait.
Are you getting a flag or anything? Flag made or anything like that?
I won't waste my money on him. Wasting enough money watching that idiot.
Well, if anyone would like to, contribute any defence of Tom Conlon, then please feel free.
We've had enough defence of Tom Conlon. Forget about him. Move on, everyone. Your lives are better now. Just move on. Forget about him. Future's bright.
Okay, brilliant. Thanks a lot, lads.
Take care. Look after yourselves.
I'll see you all for the phone in on Wednesday night, hopefully at 8 o'clock. Until then, see you later.
Hey Dave, did you know that listeners can now buy us a coffee or any other kind of hot beverage? What's your favourite hot beverage, Dave?
A macchiato.
And how do you like your macchiato?
Black with lots of milk. Oh.
No cream?
No.
Well, if you want to buy Dave a
macchiato,
then go to buymeacoffee.com/We Are Oldham. I'll just have a Nescafe.
Oh. Thank you, listeners.